All right. All right. Well, thank you all so much for being on. I'll speak for myself and Courtney and Brittany all because we are just thankful that you set aside this time. If nothing else, to come listen to us talk for a little bit and just learn some about coaching. So we're going to introduce ourselves real quick and share our stories, and then we're going to share some slides where y'all can kind of, or we can share some things that we thought was important just to highlight as far as what we do as coaches, what our team is about, because I truly believe if you're considering coaching, it is so important that you're a part of the right team that you share a mission and vision with, whether that's us or not. But okay, for those of you who do not know, my name is Shay Mills. I am from North Mississippi, and I have quite a few girls on here from similar areas. But I actually work full time as a physical therapist in the acute care hospital, and then coach on the side. So it's truly one of those things you don't have to have all the time in the world, because I can promise you I have very little time right now. I am married to my husband, Caleb. We have been married for 3 years and have a little boy coming in February. So if you follow me, you know my journey has looked completely different over the past few months. But just a reminder of what a joy we have, honestly, to steward our bodies well and do this to glorify the Lord rather than to glorify ourselves. So a little bit about me. I was kind of introduced, or how I got into coaching in these programs. I was introduced to Beachbody as a senior in high school. My basketball coach kind of threw in insanity in the middle of summer practices. We would practice, do insanity. Literally, I always say that was the definition of insanity, was doing that. But at the time, I had no idea what Beachbody was. I just knew that I was doing this program called Insanity by Shanti. And then as I moved on to college, I cheered my first few years, and honestly just really wanted to stay active and healthy because I've always had that passion. And so I did what I knew to do, and I ordered Insanity because I knew what that program was. I knew I could put it in my computer in my dorm room, which is exactly what I did my first few years of college. My roommate literally laughed at me half the time, but that was okay. And I honestly kind of followed Beachbody programs through my college years. Before I really knew what it was, every time I knew Shanti came out with a program, I ordered it. Because at that time, you had to order one program at a time on DVD. It wasn't all on this big like Netflix of workouts like it is now. But I used these programs all throughout college. I took them with me to PT school. I did go to the gym a lot during PT school, but during those times where I needed to study, I would pull it out in my apartment, do a quick 20-minute workout, and go on. Somewhere along that journey, I came across my coach and started to realize, like, hey, she is doing something similar to what I'm doing. Like, that's the same workout I did today. And that's when I really started to look into things, and I realized like what Beachbody was, what the platform was, that there's a million other, workouts and programs and all of the things. And honestly, coaching was never, ever in the back of my mind at first, until I really started to follow her journey and realize that she was doing it in a completely different way. She was walking out her health and fitness journey, sharing that, but she was sharing Jesus every step of the way. And it just really shifted my perspective on health and fitness and what that looked like. Just being a college cheerleader, I had a really warped view of nutrition and body image for multiple reasons, and honestly just was not in a very healthy place when it came to health and fitness. And just seeing her share it from a different perspective, and then me myself starting to pursue the Lord in it and surrender that area to him, like, it just changed so much about me and about my journey. And so, through all of that, I started kind of getting that nudge in my heart, like, hey, maybe this is something you should pursue. But was going through PT school, was studying for boards, was planning a wedding, all of the things in a really crazy season. And honestly gave myself every reason why I couldn't. And I won't go into all of those right now, but you name an excuse, I had it, and I did not feel equipped to do this whatsoever. But long story short, about a few months into marriage, I finally told Caleb, I was like, I really think I want to try this. Like, I don't know why the Lord's nudging at my heart to do this. And he was like, well, why not? Give it a shot. Like, you love health and fitness. You're already doing these workouts. You don't have to have done these workouts to be a coach, but I was already doing this. I was already growing in my faith and just kind of getting excited to share more about that. And so I decided to jump in, and 2.5 years in, it has been the biggest, most unexpected blessing. I won't share all the details, but just walked through a really, really hard season in my personal life. and in my marriage shortly after I jumped into coaching. And like, it is so cool to look back and see the Lord's hand in just this community and providing some of the biggest prayer warriors and giving me ways to serve. It's just been so cool. And I look back, and one of my biggest things and something that I love to do is bring women into this community who truly just have that desire to do more, to be bold and to share, but feel like they can't do it. Because if I look back 2 years, I see a completely different shade than I look at now. And that was because of the Lord, but He truly used coaching, this community, this opportunity to transform who I am. And just like, trust me, this is not something I would have done 2 years ago. So that's a little bit about me, short and sweet, but just kind of introduce myself. I'm going to hand it over to Britt and let her go real quick, and then we will let Courtney go and jump on some slides.
Hey guys, my name is Brittany Ritter. I live in Missouri, right in the middle of Missouri. And I am a full-time nurse, and then have been doing coaching on the side for just right over a year now, which is crazy to think about that it's been that long. I have a lot of similarities in my story to Shay's story, but one thing that I feel like has really been my biggest part of coaching and why I started pursuing it was just my story all throughout college. So grew up in sports, was huge into that. The majority of like middle school, high school, all of that, like, you're in sports, you stay active, you have that training set out in front of you, like you don't have to worry about doing things on the side. So I got into high school, went to a really big high school, and didn't make a team, didn't really even try out because our school was so big, and I was like, I'm just not going to go for it. But got really into running in that time because I knew I wanted to stay active and stay healthy, and that was important to me. But slowly over time, because I was doing it by myself, I was doing it alone, just kind of my image of health and fitness got warped into the world, and I ended up just really overrunning, over abusing exercise, under eating, listening to like the standards of the world. And I was just in a really dark place. And honestly, I didn't even know I was there. And that continued throughout college for several years. That is just probably the lowest point I had ever been in my health and fitness, because I didn't have anybody there with me and doing it. I was kind of all on my own. And so throughout that process, probably the first year of college, I unhealthily dropped about 20 pounds, which I didn't need to lose that weight. It was not something that I was striving for. It just happened because I was pursuing health and fitness the wrong way. And so thankfully, the Lord brought me out of that. Thank goodness for his grace. But it was a slow process and a slow recovery, and like coming out of that season and moving back home with my family. And I don't know, God worked faithfully through it, but somewhere along the lines, I got introduced to Beachbody, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool. That's different than what I've ever done. And it wasn't even with this team. It was with a coworker that I worked with in the hospital. And so got plugged into that team. They weren't really active as a community like our community is. If you're a part of our community already, we had just got access to the workouts. And so I was doing them. And then somehow I stumbled along a couple coaches on this team and was like, man, they do things differently. Like they really love the Lord. They love health and fitness. And somehow that works together. I was like, I need to learn more about this. And so ended up actually hopping on to Shay's team and was there for probably a year before deciding to coach. And in that whole time, like she just kept pouring into me and pouring into my life and helping me pursue health and fitness God's way, and just watching her journey and seeing just her progression, like you kind of heard over the past couple of years, and seeing how God had worked faithfully in her life. I was like, man, I need more of this. I need that community that she has, like, because it's been so impactful in her life. And I just desire a God-driven fitness community, because how cool is that we can, steward our bodies well and do it together as a team, as a community of believers. And so never, ever thought I would pursue coaching, because I'm probably one of the most introverted people you've ever met. But it has allowed me to step out in boldness and confidence. And like Shay was saying, the person that she was 2 years ago is not who she is today. And I feel the same way. And it's like for the better, for sure. Grown in community, gotten to know some amazing coaches and other women on this team, and just confidence in the rest of life too, and being able to share my story. And my honest goal of coaching is that I can encourage one woman who was in that same spot that I was, 2 years ago, where I was, or 2 to 3 years ago, where I was stuck in that really dark spot and just needed some encouragement. And so coaching has been so fun. It's been such a blessing. And it's been cool just to see how it's impacted all the other areas of life too. So yeah, that is my story. I will pass it off to Courtney.
Okay, sorry. I am Courtney Curry. I have been coaching for about a year now, I guess about as long as Brittany. But I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Been married to my husband for 3.5 years now. I work full time at a branding firm. And so I just kind of work this business in the pockets of my day, really. So I guess I'll just start with kind of what led me to pursue my own fitness journey in the first place. Because to be honest, for a long while, I really had no regard for my health and fitness or mental health in general. And so I kind of feel like I just got to the lowest of the low during college. And so I was just active throughout different seasons leading up through to college. But when college came and there were other circumstances that created just this overwhelming anxiety in my life, I knew there needed to be a change. I didn't know what that looked like. And I also kind of just diagnosed myself with anxiety, and turns out it is and was. And so it's something I really needed to work through in multiple different ways. And so I just hit this moment where in my life where I was like, I feel like I don't want to be known as this person who is bringing everyone around me down. I want to be known for encouraging people up and being, an encouraging and healthy resource for them. But I can't do that because I'm consumed by everything about me. And so I really, for nothing besides my mental health alone, I decided that there needed to be a change. And so ironically, and it's a huge God thing, that I started following Shay, I guess around this time. And literally before my eyes, I watched her model the disciplines that I needed in my life. And so that is still huge to me to this day, because it reminds me why I share every day. Some days it's like, oh, nobody cares about this, or I feel like I'm rambling, or whatever it may be. But like Brittany said, if it's just one person that can relate to me in that way, whether it's my anxiety or something else that I share in regards to using this platform to share my testimony, then it's worth it to me. Honestly, I'm here, I'm sharing the story and my testimony and my fitness journey to shed light on, a pretty dark industry. And so I feel like using it and sharing fitness and taking care of our bodies and stewarding them well for the Lord is kind of rare to see people so openly sharing in that way. And so I feel like I have skipped around a little bit, but I share now to hopefully model that same discipline that I watched Shay live out for so long. And then ultimately, after I started coaching, I have, even in the last 6 months, less than 6 months ago, I had a fairly major lung surgery. And so I realized that after that, I feel like I have just been taken back to my why over and over and over again, that it's, even when I didn't have the capacity to show up for my girls or my coaches or even work out at all, which is what I do every day, what I share about every day. It's my own journey that matters to me most, that's priority. I wasn't able to do a lot of that. And so just being able to show up through that and really see the deep relationships that my disciplines and commitment to this community, ultimately for God's glory, brought about fruit during the darkest season that I've had thus far. And even through that, because of this platform, I was able to connect with women who actually had similar or the same surgery, which is honestly kind of rare for women. And so I think that it's just so cool to see God's like sovereignty through really this whole last few years of finally surrendering my health journey in general to the Lord, physical, mentally, and spiritually. So, and so I feel like it's just, this platform has given me the opportunity to just really walk into the lives of others. And that's why I want to be here to do that. I want to see people through, not just on their fitness journey, whether they join me or not. I want to be there to lift them up and encourage them along the way. And so I think that's it.
All right, let me share my screen real quick and I'll let you go for it. Let's see. All right, Courtney, go for it.
Okay, so I'm not going to read through every single one of these points, but you get the point. We are not experts. Like, I feel like this slide is a perfect picture of simplifying what we do as coaches every day. So we're not experts. We certainly don't know everything. Like Shay was saying in the beginning of this call, you certainly don't have to be an expert at social media, or Shay says all the time she didn't even know how to use stories when she first started coaching, and I probably didn't either, but you just kind of learn as you go, and I feel like it is overcomplicated a lot. And so ultimately I'm reminded over and over that I'm here to share my story and hopefully encourage others along the way with me, and use the resources that I have to do that. So okay, so I already shared about this a little bit, but I felt like it was a good way to talk through this slide. And honestly, I'm just going to use Shay as an example because I feel like this is literally what I experienced in kind of onboarding into this community and seeing her show up, share, and serve. That's literally what she's done, even up until now, like over and over and over again. And so it's just such a cool thing to think about and just to simplify. So showing up is just, it's a daily thing. And so not doing it perfectly, but by doing what you can in the season of life that you're in. And so I see that all the time in my virtual gym, just women in all different seasons of life. And it's so cool to see them encourage one another. And honestly, when I saw Shay making the time for her health and fitness and knowing that she was a physical therapist and she worked full time and she had a husband and she juggled all these things, it was so much bigger than that. And so therefore she shares and she brings women along with her and serves them through that. So lead women to live strong and healthy lives for the glory of God. And so that's ultimately what we're here to do. And it is so neat to see the fruit and the relationships and deep community that comes from that. And yeah.
So I'll pop in and kind of share what it looks like in the day of the life of a coach. So really a huge part of this is you're walking your own journey first. So that's showing up in your health and fitness journey before we do anything else. Like, you have to be working on you. And a huge thing for us in this community is like, we want to be in the Word every day. And that is priority to us, even above our health and fitness journey. Like, we want to be right with God and spending time with Him and getting to know Him more, because that really dictates the rest of our lives when it comes to health and fitness and also like coaching. So you won't have to show up in your journey first. And that's really cool, because your biggest investment into your business or coaching is your own health journey. So you're seeing progress in your own journey as you're doing this as well. So as you're doing that, as you are walking your own journey, you are sharing and inspiring others. So whatever that looks like for you, sharing some sort of encouragement about health and fitness and how it's benefited you, talking about the program that you're walking through, talking about the struggles that you face, because I think that people really don't share enough on social media, like the real life, like the real. Sometimes we just show the highlight reel. And so what we're here to do is like share the times that we're struggling, share things that we've learned, share personal development that we've read, like things that are impacting our journey. And hopefully that encourages somebody that's watching. Then we utilize the tools that we provide, which we're going to talk about here in just a couple slides over, but things that our community provides, our coaching community provides for you to get started as a coach. And then also moving forward and, helping others get started with their journey and seeing results. So using the products, using Shakeology and Performance Line, are awesome, nutritional additives, things like that we provide as a part of our package into, joining this community. That is we want to see people see fruit in their journeys as well. And so we get to come alongside women, plug them into workout programs that fit for them, and then just be their biggest cheerleaders as they pursue health and fitness God's way. So another really cool thing about our community is that we provide what's called a daily tracker, business tracker. And so this walks through the vital behaviors of a coach. And so part of this is showing up and, doing your own journey, drinking your Shakeology, doing your workout, showing up for your own journey and growing. We also include like some personal development in this as well. So listening to podcasts or reading books that are really developing your mindset and your just outlook on life. But a couple of the other tasks that are on here is, as a coach, a couple of the things that are most important to us is that we want to reach more people. So we have to kind of like expand our network and, love on people on social media, like share joy and share encouragement through people's stories and posts and things like that. That is a huge part of what we do because we just want to be a light. Like Courtney was saying, it's a dark industry and we want to be a light in it. And obviously also inviting to our community. We love what we do. We love pursuing health and fitness. We love our virtual gyms and just the excitement that women see when they're pursuing health and fitness God's way. And so we want people to jump on board with us. So we have to invite people. So that's another huge part. So this is kind of like a sneak peek into some of our profiles. These are kind of old pictures, but our reminder for you as you're considering, pursuing coaching and being a part of this community is our main desire is for you to be famous in heaven and at home first. So that's pursuing your health and fitness journey with knowing that your priority is to, be consistent in your faith walk and to, prioritize your family life. We do not want this to become something, Beachbody is not what you are. Coaching is not what you are. Like you are a child of God and you are a mom or a sister or a wife, whatever that might be. This is just something that is there to encourage other women. It is a huge part of our story, but it's not our entire story. We're sharing our life, sharing encouragement, things that we're learning, and then sprinkling our workouts and, all of the other Beachbody related things into our daily life. So I was kind of talking about the things that our team provides. So there's a list right here kind of the things that we provide as you get started as a coach. You are set up so well when you get going. If you decide to coach, we would love to have a one-on-one call with you to talk about your vision, your purpose, the things that you would want to pursue and encourage people in. We have a new coach boot camp that we plug ladies into. It's like 5 days of just let's get you started right. We have weekly team calls. We have group messages for people, especially the new coaches, which is fun because we're all running this race together at different stages. So we have a Google Drive. We have live action hours, which is basically doing our coach work together on a call, which is really cool. Faith-based business training, and then we're just here as a community to sharpen one another, here for each other as fellow coaches, friends, encouragers, prayer warriors, whatever. We are here to lift each other up.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about literally one of the most common questions I feel like we get as coaches, because everybody wants to know, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to, put time and energy and effort towards this, like, what does that look like? And so you do make money as a coach. I'm going to preface this by saying, first of all, we always have to say this when we talk about money, but it is literally dependent on the time and effort that you put in. If you come into coaching, it doesn't mean you're just going to all of a sudden make all this money. Like, that's not how it works. You do have to put forth some effort. But what I love about coaching is that effort is totally dependent on what you're able to give. But all that to say, we do make money. So I'm not going to go into details. If y'all have questions, if you're wanting to jump into coaching after this, we'll dive a little deeper. But basically, your main stream of income as a coach is just commission. So you're going to make commission off of literally anything you sell, whether it's signing somebody up with one of our packages and plugging them into the community, whether it's just giving them access to workouts or selling them Energize, which is our literally it's life. That's what I say. But if you don't know what Energize is, ask us. But anyways, you make commission off of just selling some type of product. Now, the in all honesty, where you're really going to see that income grow is once you start to bring on a team. So Courtney and Brittany are two coaches underneath me. So for example, when you start to build a team, when you start to bring on people who want to run this race with you, who see your mission and your purpose, and they get on board and they want to share as well, that's where you really start to grow in income. You start to have opportunities to just earn bonuses as you kind of grow in the business. There's quarterly bonuses and yearly bonuses. I'm not even to that point yet, but that's where I'm running towards. But it is really, really cool how this can compound. And I'm going to kind of talk about this just a little bit. But basically, we don't talk about money a lot, like literally rarely ever. As far as business goes, we only talk about this just one-on-one and with people who have questions, because that's not our heart in it. But this shows a little income progression, and these need to be updated. Honestly, we did this probably 2 months ago. But you can see mine and Brittany's income progression, and then Ashton is another coach on our team. And so it's just really, really cool. A lot of people like, oh, I wish I had $50 extra here. I wish I could just make $100 extra a month to pay for groceries or whatever it is. Like maybe it's something simple. Maybe it's something as simple as being able to give more in your community or your church, or Caleb and I are working towards paying off my PT student loans. Like, it can be the simplest things. You truly never know, but it really has been a blessing. And like I said, you have to put in the effort and the work. You have to be consistent and stick with it for the long run. If you think you're going to come into this and make big bucks real quick, I'm going to be really transparent and just say, it's not the way this works. It's really not. But from month 1 to month 26, I can definitely say that extra $2,800 that comes into our household is a huge blessing. And it's been used in some really cool ways that if you're a part of our team, you'll probably hear more of my testimony later. But just wanted to kind of show y'all what this looks like and what the possibilities are. My personal coach, she got to come home last year from her corporate job and be a stay-at-home mom, because that was her goal in her heart. And she's making 6 figures. And so that's just really, really cool what can come from this. Obviously, we're not here for the money. Please don't take it that way. But we also want to be real transparent with y'all about what it looks like, because this is something that can really bless your family or even another family. If, maybe you're blessed, maybe you don't need anything personally, but what a cool way to bless others. And so just wanted to share that real quick so y'all could kind of see. Now, this is one other thing that we have. Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to move my little thing around on my screen. I don't know. Okay. My computer's going crazy. But one really, really awesome part of our community is just the trips and vacations that are provided. So you are hearing me, Courtney, and Brittany talk on this call. Y'all, a year ago, we didn't know each other. 2 years ago, however long they've been in our community. A year into coaching, but I forget how long they've been here total. I love these girls. Like if you were in a group text message with us, you would be like, wait, they just met through Instagram? I'm like, yeah. Have we met in person? Yes, at this point. But it is so, so cool how the Lord can take just the smallest thing and build some of the coolest relationships. But these are just some pictures of our trips. We do retreats every year. We have a big coach thing called Summit, where you have the opportunity to actually earn a free ticket to as a new coach. It's going to be in St. Louis this year, so super excited. There's a few pictures of just the beach, and you'll see some pictures with our husband. So we actually have a diamond retreat, which diamond is a rank in our business. And once you hit that, we have a paid for trip. I get to go in for 4 weeks to Seaside, Florida, literally paid for, taking my husband. It's just really, really cool. Like this community is about so much more than faith and fitness. Like we're real people who truly have real friendships and are each other's biggest prayer warriors. And it's such a blessing. So a lot more into that, but it's just really cool what our team offers. So real quick to wrap things up, because I want to respect y'all's time. This is something I love. If you're willing to put in the work daily and set goals, there's absolutely nothing you can't do. I told myself for 4 years, I could never be a coach, but y'all, whatever the Lord calls you to, he's going to equip you for it. And I don't know if that's coaching. I don't know if that's coaching on our team. I don't know what it is. So I'm not trying to tell you that you need to coach, because that's between you and the Lord. But I do know that if there's someone here who is really nervous or scared or feel like they're not equipped, I was there. But there is truly nothing the Lord cannot do through you. You just have to be willing to be obedient and say, okay, let's do this. And I'm still scared 2.5 years in. full transparency. If you are on this call and you knew me from high school or college, you're probably like, what is she doing? Like, she's actually leading a call. And I'm like, yeah, I am. So it's just really cool what the Lord can do. And then one last thing, I love this quote by Gretchen. She is one of the founders of Well Watered Women Ministry, which is actually a company we use a lot for our teen Bible studies that we do. But it just says, fearing failures keeps us stagnant, but embracing it and going forward in confidence is the first step to the dream becoming reality. And if I could tell you how many times I've let the fear of failure hold me back from doing something I knew the Lord was calling me to, I would run out of things to say. But it is really, really cool what happens when we start to embrace and move forward and allow the Lord to literally work through us. And it's a blessing. So I just hope that encourages y'all tonight. If you are sitting on the other side of the screen and you're kind of like, this would be really cool. Like, this would be a cool opportunity, but not me. You don't know what the Lord wants to do in and through you. So if that's you, then I really challenge you to just be in prayer over this opportunity. And that's all we got. So basically, what now? If we have questions, we're going to open it up for questions real quick. But kind of next steps is, first of all, get off this call. If this is something you feel called to do, please don't text me or Courtney or Brittany right off the bat and say, hey, I want to jump into coaching. I know that sounds kind of crazy. Like, deep down, we're like, yes, like, go ahead. But no, don't do that. Stop and pray about it. If you're married, I want you to talk to your husband about it. If you have family, like, literally take a day and pray about this and see if this is where the Lord is calling you. But if it is, then we're ready to get you started. We do a coach mentorship every single month. And so our first job is to get you set up to help you on your journey. And then we'll kind of plug you into those resources our team provides. But that is what we got. So I'm going to open the floor for questions. Y'all can unmute yourselves if you have them, or if you want to drop a question in the chat, no pressure. But now's the time to ask them, because if one person has a question, I guarantee you 10 other people do too. So don't be afraid. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick. All right. Any questions before we hop off of here?
I have a question. So, like, when you're choosing how to follow people on Instagram, like, how do you do that? Are you like, oh, like, there's an account like I should follow? Like, what's your mindset with that?
So everyone's going to say a different thing, more than likely, because everybody does this a different way. My first thing I would say, like, if you're considering coaching, please don't get caught up in that. Like, your first 4 to 5 months of coaching is literally going to be you reaching your people, your family, your friends, people you already know. It's not just all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I have to invite strangers. Like, that is not our heart. Our heart is for you to start with people in your circle and impact people who you already have contact with, because that's your close circle. Like, that's where you can make such a big difference. But we do get to connect and form relationships on social media, which is really cool. But our hearts are never for you to follow somebody, invite them. Not saying that's what you're asking, but it's never to follow somebody, invite them. Like, we want to create real, genuine connections. And if that invite is something that we feel led to do, then great. If it's not, then our hope or our prayer is that they're encouraged just from following us. But honestly, for me, I follow people who, like, if I already have a connection with them, I kind of follow their friends and their people. That's just kind of what I do personally, because I truly want to meet people where they're at and form relationships with people in my season of life, if that makes sense. So there's a million different ways. Don't stress about that as a coach, though. Like, even coming into coaching, I would say don't even worry about that right off the bat. Like, your job is to show up, serve, and like literally reach out to your people that you already know. So
Thank you.
yeah.
I will kind of add just a little bit to that. So, like, when I first started coaching, I was super scared about that, like reaching out to people I didn't know. And I probably will say took a couple months before I actually got someone to sign up with me that I didn't know before this all. Like, my first people were my best friend and my mother-in-law. Like, it really was family and friends. And it was more so because, like, they wanted to support me. Yes. But also, like, I had a passion for helping them get healthy and fit because they're my family. Like, I want them to live healthy lives and, be able to see the joy of this community like I have. And so, like, I was passionate about sharing with them. And then, like, that kind of spiraled into me being passionate about really sharing it with anybody.
Yeah, good point, Brett. Sorry I was coughing while you were answering. I couldn't find the mute button and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to be so loud. Any other questions before I close this in prayer and call it a night? I always like scroll to the top, see if anybody's unmuting themselves. Okay. Well, we're going to call it a night because we've gone over a little bit anyways. But again, thank y'all so much for being here. Like just the fact that you took time on a Thursday night to listen to this call. We really are grateful. And just know that like if coaching is not your thing, but you're like, okay, I'm not ready for that, but I really need some tools and resources on my own health and fitness journey. And I need a community of women walking with me. Like you do not have to be a coach to be a part of our community. Just FYI. Sorry, I drank water while ago and it's like going down the wrong way. But anyways, I just wanted y'all to know that because that's not the only way to enter our community. We love and serve women every single day, just as a regular customer or client. So all that to say, I'm going to close this in prayer and we will call it a night. I'm sure my husband's ready for me to get out of our bedroom anyways, because he was like, I want to go to bed early. And yes, it's 8:00. We go to bed early. But okay, let's pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, I just thank you so much for this day that you have given us. God, I thank you for just who you are, for your goodness and your mercy and your kindness. God, I thank you just for the amazing creator that you are, Lord, the way that you created our bodies, Lord, just the task that you've entrusted us with to steward those bodies well, not for aesthetics, not to weigh a certain amount or to look a certain way or to live up to the standard the world puts on us. But Lord, literally just because our bodies are your temple, and what a joy it is to steward that well so that we can go and do what you call us to do, and just do that job well and to truly go out and be your hands and feet. Like that's just an honor. And so God, I thank you for that. I thank you for every single lady who is on this call tonight. I know that was time out of her really busy schedule because we all have a million things going on. And Lord, I praise you for that. I pray that if nothing else, that your light just shine through tonight, that your word was just spread, that your joy was spread, and that your love was seen in everything we did and we said. God, I pray over these women. If you are calling them to pursue something as coaching, whether it's with us or someone else, or maybe you're calling them to something completely different and they just needed to be on this call tonight to be encouraged and spurred on. God, I just pray over them. I pray that you would just give them that courage and boldness to walk in obedience wherever you are calling. Because Lord, ultimately, it doesn't matter what we do, as long as we are walking with you and truly just being led by your spirit in every single aspect of our life. And so that is my prayer just over these women tonight. Lord, we love you. We thank you. We thank you that tomorrow's Friday, and just pray that you would be with us as we go throughout the rest of this week and this weekend. May everything we do just truly bring honor and glory to you. In Jesus' precious and holy name we pray. Amen. All right, girls, thanks for being on.